Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Gaming Smorgasbord. I am your host, Andy, and today I'm going to be playing Operation Clarion, and I'm going to be doing this in a little bit of a different fashion. I'm going to be doing this as a post-commentary, just because I wanted to add a little bit more production value, and I wanted to see how I would actually go about doing this. So, what is Operation Clarion? Operation Clarion is a space exploration game where you play as a pilot sent on an operation to find 3 missing pilots on an alien planet. And it plays very much like a traditional platform game in which you jump around and try and gain access to new areas by jumping onto platforms and then traversing even more what appear to be hazardous terrain. And it doesn't really stand out in that respect. It doesn't do anything new or crazy or adventurous in that. Its atmosphere is really what it kind of does pretty well. I really enjoyed the silence that you got from the environment, because you are trapped inside this spacesuit, and all you can really hear is the sounds of what's happening within the spacesuit, and it's usually very, very low-key sound. It's very low sound, and all you've really got are the sounds of your feet kind of just going as you jump around. Now, you do have the ability to do a kind of like power jump, more charged jump, which produces a louder sound, but those are really the only sounds you've got, and I really appreciated it for that. But it does ruin it a little bit, because once you find one of the downed pilots, it plays what would be referred to as a piece of non-diegetic sound, and that really throws what they were attempting to do out a little bit, because really what they were attempting to do is give this really atmospheric the kind of sound that would draw you in to what's going on, and they kind of ruin it by having these non-diegetic sounds, especially like right at the end where it suddenly just starts playing music. Now, it fits tonally within what's happening within the narrative of the game, but it really kind of throws itself out when you look at it from what they were attempting to do from a atmospheric and kind of sound design perspective. So I think that they kind of ruined it on that one. That's kind of my opinion. But what really drew me to the game was the idea that you have free movement of your head as well as your body. So you can look around left, right, up, down, but it's limited to your spacesuit. So you can't look any higher than the spacesuit window, you can't look any lower than the spacesuit window, and the same with left and right. And wherever you look is independent of wherever you're moving. So you could be looking far right and still be moving forwards. And I really appreciate that, because it gives, again, a sense of immersion to what's going on. You know, when you're in a spacesuit, you do have a limited range of movement. You can't look all the way. And in real life, you know, you can move your head around and move in a separate direction. So I really appreciated it for that, and I think it really drew me in a lot more. Now, I think narratively the game falls short, because there isn't actually very much going on narratively. It's literally just you arrive on the planet, you have to find 3 survivors, and you leave the planet. And that's pretty much the sum total of the story. Now, I feel like this is an experiment in, you know, kind of using the zero gravity stuff, using the kind of jumping as your mode of movement. I feel like it was an experiment in sound design and atmosphere more than it was in a experiment in game design. Or in kind of game mechanics, should I say. So I think that the story serves what they were attempting to do with it. I feel like it would be better, and I kind of mused this whilst I was playing, that it would be amazing if it was a kind of like horror game type of thing. Like, maybe not at the beginning, but like just a little bit later on, where you have this sense of vulnerability innately, because, you know, you have this very thin layer of external skin protecting you from the harsh outside. So having that, couple that with like the fact that you can't really move very fast. The fastest you can move is when you do the power jump. You know, I was like musing about it being a really good idea, a really good base for a horror game, or at least a game where, you know, you have to attempt to traverse some form of dangerous environment, and you're always at risk of like the suit becoming compromised in some way. I felt like that would have been an absolutely fantastic concept for the game. I was just kind of musing about it. Or if they wanted to do it, have the jumping be a resource that you're attempting to collect, and then every time you fail to do a jump and you die, tally up the number of pilots you have to attempt to rescue. So every time you fail to do a jump, go survivors to be found 4, whereas before it was 3. That would have been quite interesting, and if you run out, that's kind of like a death sentence for you, and then you have to start over. Maybe have something like that. But again, that's just kind of me musing about it, off the cuff kind of thing, because I like the concept, I like the feeling that I got from it, but I didn't like some of the execution. But do I think that it's worth kind of picking up and playing? Yes, it is. I think it's absolutely worth picking up and playing, if you're into maybe something a little bit more experimental than just kind of like a Call of Duty or something like that. So it's definitely worth picking up and having a little go about, and having a little play about, and having a little jump about. And I will put a link in the description to where you can actually get the game, and I hope that you enjoy it. So I have been Andy, you've been awesome, thank you very much for watching, and leave your opinion in how I should do these videos from now on. Should I do it in the off the cuff, I'm playing the game as I'm talking, or should I do it as a kind of post commentary, I sit here and just kind of jabber on about the game? So like I said, I've been Andy, you've been awesome, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Goodbye.